Hello. I just got back from Artists and Craftsman where I went to pick up some new art supplies. So I'm going to do a bit of an art haul and sort of talk through what I have been up to recently, how my days have been looking like. Basically, what inspired me to do this art haul is that I realized that so much of my time is taken by oil painting, and the way that I've been painting is very diaristic, very improvisational. I just paint how I feel. I don't have an agenda for it. Kind of let my body do what it wants to do. Recently, I've just been feeling a sense of pressure as I'm considering applying to grad school again. You need a certain number of works in order to apply to grad school. I've been feeling a lot of uncertainty. I haven't been feeling also like I have been able to explore my style and my interest enough. I just realized paper is the way to go. I actually have been making art my entire life. Basically, my mom is a piano teacher. My dad is an artist, and that led to a really beautiful fruition and collaboration of both of those talents and interests. I spent a lot of my evenings playing the piano, playing the flute, but also spent a lot of my evenings painting, drawing, sketching, just everything you can think of. Naturally, I was much more talented in the visual art department at first, but I am realizing recently that my piano, my classical music training has also been really important in my life. I decided to go to Artists and Craftsman just to pick up some drawing utensil. This is what I grabbed. I got this Master's brush cleaner. It's kind of what I typically use. I really need to develop a better way to clean my brushes, but this is what it's going to be at the time. I was looking for some paper that I feel like would be comfortable sketching and drawing in. I've been interested in vellum or any sort of transparent papers. Legion Yupo translucent paper. You can do multiple things on it. You can do oil painting, you can sketch, you can use ink. So I love the translucency of it. When I get a typewriter, I also want to get vellum so I can make sure I can type on transparent paper as well. I've always really loved transparent paper. I love the idea of having a sketchbook where the paper is transparent and you can see all of your writing behind and in front of the piece of paper, so that's something I'm going to buy soon. I got more titanium zinc white. I'm always using white. I was really interested by this notebook because I am a very aesthetic driven person. So even though I've used all of these other brands of paper my entire life, by now I sort of know what I like and I can always return to those brands. But this one caught my eye because it's really pretty. It's like this really beautiful burgundy color, and I'm a silver girly. This is a notebook I want to throw in my bag when I'm just out and about sketching, and it's just really cute to look at. I wanted to get the large version of it as well because this is what I'll be using when I'm actually at the studio doing any sort of larger sketches before I do them on a final piece of paper. Oh, okay, so what's really exciting is I got pencils. And I've always used Staedtler, I think, the blue pencils my entire life. What really led me to wanting to film this video is going through this process of going to an art supply store, recognizing all of these tools and art supplies that I have used my entire life, feeling the cyclical nature of it all. I have gone to so many art stores my entire life. I've debated what type of pencil to get. I've debated what type of ruler, metal versus plastic ruler. They're completely different. I was just thinking about how the last time I really remember going to the art supply store and actually getting these drafting tools was in Copenhagen in 2022. I went to the art supply store there. I was frenzied over all of the different new types of brand that I didn't know. So that felt like speaking a new language. In South Korea, when I was living in Seoul, there's this amazing art supply store that I love there. I also remember adapting to the language of reading Korean, trying to understand what I was buying, also really figuring out what Korean brands I love the most, but also being comforted by the brands I've also known my entire life. Everywhere that I want to buy more art supplies and continue my interest and my passion, art will always be there for me, and these art stores will always be by my side. They will always have my back. Even going into Italy that one time a few years ago and exploring all of these Italian brushes and Italian oil paint, I was a bit overwhelmed, but I also had all of these brands that I knew, like the same Gamblin oils or the same types of papers, Bristol pads. I think it was just kind of nice to know that I will always be able to find what I need everywhere I go. And maybe other people can sympathize with this as well, like maybe those who love shopping or are passionate about cosmetics. They can go to different cosmetics all over the world and be comforted that they see like La Roche La Posay or something. Do we love the warmth? Do we love the colors? Ooh, a pink is sort of a vibe. I was also thinking about how shopping for art supplies really show you where you are in your life and your interest. I have been so focused on oil painting for the last few years. When I moved to New York, I actually just packed my oil painting brushes and I packed all of my oil paints. I put them in my suitcases and I really just came to New York with oil paints and brushes. Even though I've traveled back home a few times since then, I never really prioritized bringing my art supplies over because I am focused on oil paints right now. I don't need to bring this huge bag of rulers that I have at home. I have always had an abundance of art materials because of my upbringing, by taking all of these classes that my father encouraged me to take, but also studying architecture required me to get a lot of drafting tools, different types of T-squares, just so many different materials that we had to use that I eventually abandoned because moving into product design and into the visual design world, I didn't need those physical art supplies as much. I'm continuously learning as I move forward in life that all of these interests and careers of mine are intersectional. Even though I'm doing graphic design, which is mainly digital based, I now am finding myself wanting to draw again. I'm wanting to draft. I'm wanting to use my T-squares and start drafting and drawing things on paper again. What I've really lost over the last few years was my drawing skills and just all the documentation skills of like journaling, sketching, writing my ideas down. I've switched completely to digital that I haven't found the need to use like a pencil again. A lot of my videos always talk about how I come back to the core of who I am, and I still find that to be so true because the core of who I was always a little girl who was so excited to go to the art supply store, trying out new supplies, new materials, and constantly being like thrilled to try these new things out. And the older I get, going back to all of these things I loved as a child is what will always heal me. I also realized how much I've lost in terms of my knowledge and expertise of art supply. I started not remembering what some brands were or what I needed or the difference between these two types of things. I'm not necessarily sad about it because I don't find that that's something that I find is useful in my life, but I was more so using this memory and this experience as a data insight, just like a dot on my timeline to help me move forward in life to determine where I want to be. Knowing now about how excited I felt and how invigorated I feel after going to the art supply store, I realized that this is definitely an area that I want to invest more in. You might think that's funny, like, you're an artist, you should have been investing your money into your art supplies, like, of course. I find that you can kind of naturally get lost into the path of whatever you're doing, especially moving to New York. I was so excited by the city, so I found myself like researching clothing, other food stuff, researching cafes and coffees. Like, I just spent my time buying things that would help me in my life, but not necessarily my artistic life, because I kind of thought I had that at least formulaic or figured out in the meantime. So moving on to what else I bought, I wanted to try a different brand today, and obviously I'm a little bit aesthetic oriented, so I didn't want the blue Staedtler. I wanted these Pacific Arc drawing pencils. These are all grayscale, and I bought this like metal tin for it. Of course, I got like a little blending tool to use, which I don't remember how to use this, by the way. I don't remember how I'm supposed to sharpen this, but it should be fine. I got a sharpener to go with it. I have so many sharpeners. Like, when I go back home in a few months, like, I'm gonna grab all my art supplies and it's gonna have like 5 sharpeners in there. But hey, this was like $2. I got this general mechanical eraser because I'll be like working with fine lines, a mono eraser, which I think is one of my favorites and also recommended by the store manager. So I'm always talking to my friend about like what I'm using, my technique. I have a friend in the Bay Area who's also like an artist, and he specifically is like really good about trying new oils or new mediums. Like, he's always very knowledgeable about that. One time he just said to me like, why don't you try a French curve? And I was like, whoa, a French curve? Like, that never occurred to me for some reason. Now I have to buy a French curve because there was like one French curve. Is it called French curve? Let me look this up.
French curve?
Yeah, there was one French curve in the store, but it was like this hideous green that I can't deal with. So I think I'm gonna buy like a baby blue French curve or a pink one or a clear one, just because I'm a little bit specific with the things I use. And I find that if you like the things that you use, you will also use them a bit more. Just been thinking and reflecting a lot on how whenever I go to the art store, I'm usually getting a new oil paint color or I'm replenishing my supplies. I'm not in this discovery mode, which I really want to bring back because I think that's going to unlock a lot of my painting process. But also, I think because I need to make a lot more works for applying to grad school, paper can be final pieces. Like, I don't have to stick to painting, even though I also have been painting on paper like here. Like, that isn't something I'm particularly excited about. Why not just start drawing, because I'm actually excited about drawing. Like, I don't think I'm particularly a good drawer per se, but the idea of drafting and like sketching, like, that excites me more than, I guess, painting on paper. Maybe this will be also connected. Maybe I will start with drawing and then realize that I want to paint on paper, but maybe I also won't. So who knows? I think I'm just really excited to let myself breathe, let myself make what I want to make, and continue to move forward with that. So that was my day.